Fred here, welcome back to the Gear Obsession channel. I'm back out here at the range and I have a really cool 22 pistol I'd like to show you. And here it is. Looks like a ray gun, doesn't it? For those of you that collect firearms or know some of your older firearms, it looks a lot like something called the Whitney Wolverine. Has the same line, same grip angle, space age looking gun. Really cool. Before we get started, I'd like to run down the specs really quick. I got my notes down here, so I'm going to look down, so I apologize. This comes with, or at least this particular pistol came with a 4.5-inch barrel. With the 4.5-inch barrel, it's 32 ounces. A very, very light pistol in comparison to most other 22s in the same class. Now you could also get this with the larger 6-inch barrel and the 7.5-inch barrel. We did purchase the 7.5-inch barrel. You can see a comparison between the two. Of course, because of all that extra barrel, it's going to weigh a little bit more. With the 7.5-inch, it brings it up to almost 41 ounces. Now, if you notice when I held this up, it has an integrated rail, and I have a optic attached to it. What's really nice about that is when you do change barrels out, or even if you just take it apart while you're field stripping it, you can leave the optic on it, and once you put it back together, there should not be any need to re-zero it because that rail's integrated onto the barrel. Really cool. And while I have the barrel, if you notice, right there has a recessed crown. You know, Beretta's been making firearms for 500 years, and they know what you should be doing with your gun and what you shouldn't be. And this protects the crown in the event that you drop it on its head. Getting back to the rest of the specifications, this is the inox version. You know, it has a little bit of silver here. There's also an all black version. You could also get several different types with different grips. There's one that sells with a pink grip, even though you can't buy the grip separate, which I'm kind of disappointed with. You can also find ones with blue inserts. There's some ones with gray inserts and some other different color grips. Very easy to change. By the way, this is one of the easiest 22s to field strip, and I'll be showing you that here shortly. Now, this is a 22 long rifle. It is a blowback design. The slide comes back very easy compared to the Buckmark or the Ruger or many other 22s. It's a very easy, simple 22 to operate for those that might have arthritis or younger shooters or people who may have difficulty yanking their slide. So another thing you might notice is that the grip is swept back a lot, similar to the Ruger Mark III, but it's thinner. So if you're a shooter with small hands, this might be your ticket into a very good 22 pistol. Now, another big benefit of this is the price. You can find these as inexpensively as $225, and it might come up to as high as $300 depending on your setup and where you are in the country. You know, some states like to charge you or gouge you for even more tax than others. So one of the reasons why I have this out on the range is because I want to go ahead and test fire it. It just got back from Beretta's service and support. This was one of the pistols that were affected by the safety recall. Now, this does have an ambidextrous safety. You have a lever on both sides. You push it down and it is ready. It's safe, and you push it up for fire. Very easy to actuate both sides with your thumb. Now, another reason why it saw some Beretta service was because it just didn't seem very accurate. So I asked them to take a look at it, and they did, and it seemed like the integrated rail may have been a little bit loose or twisted or something. So they went ahead and just replaced the barrel, and I got it back within a week. So I'm very happy with the service and support that Beretta has given us, and it didn't cost us a cent. One other remarkable feature of this pistol is that you could purchase something called a carbine conversion kit. Basically, it's a very long barrel that you could just sort of screw onto the frame, and it has a different grip that sort of extends out to a stock, and it makes it into a really neat carbine. And you can purchase that for the price of about $225. If you search for Beretta Neos conversion or carbine conversion kit, you should be able to find them scattered around on the internet. So let's go ahead and take a closer look. I'm going to show you how to quickly field strip this pistol. It is super easy. It's probably the easiest one out there. So we'll go ahead and make sure we're clear and the magazine is removed. So we'll go ahead and lock the slide back. There is a slide release or slide lock right here. So you just pull it back and you lock the slide back. Next thing you do is there is a button right here that you press, and then you turn this thumb wheel that's right here. And you just sort of turn it. And this is about the longest part of the takedown process. It has threads that are very close together, I guess. I don't know how to describe that, but it makes it so it's on there pretty good. So just like that, the barrel's off. Next thing that you're going to do is grip the slide while pressing down on the slide release, and then move the slide forward, and your slide is off. Next is your recoil spring. Just go ahead and pull that off. Then you're going to go ahead and hold the firing pin and press the trigger, and they'll come out. And you're done field stripping. That's all there is. Here's the firing pin spring. Really simple takedown. Okay, taking it down was pretty simple. Let's go ahead and put it back together. Should be just as simple. We'll go ahead and put the firing pin spring back on the firing pin, and we'll go ahead and pop it right back in there. Just sort of push it in there. After you get the firing pin in, go ahead and put the recoil spring on. It'll go ahead and feed the recoil spring into the slide, line it up, and push it back. And then we'll go ahead and put the slide lock up so it holds the slide. So you could go ahead and use the other hand to grab the barrel and just screw it down. Now, one thing you need to be careful about is making sure that this part of the integrated rail is seated properly up here on the top of the slide. I've several times messed that up, so you want to make sure it's down in there. See? You want to make sure it's down in there as you're screwing your barrel. Now, if you notice, I didn't have to break out a tool to do this, and that's one really nice thing. You're out here on the range and you need to do some service or some cleaning or quick field strip. You don't have to remember to bring a special tool to do this. So just like that, you're done. Now, I notice a lot of people in a lot of videos will go ahead and use the slide lock to release the slide, and in some pistols that may be the case, but that's not what you do with this one. All you do is pull back on the slide release or on the slide and then let it go forward. Now, if you have no ammunition in it, just go ahead and walk it forward, but if you're feeding your first round, you just let it go. Okay, now there's some other odd things about this pistol besides its looks, which is usually a love or hate kind of thing. Usually whenever you get these weird looking pistols, or cool looking to some folks, you'll have a lot of the crowd, or a lot of the traditional crowd, say that's the ugliest thing they ever had. So generally this is a love-hate kind of design. You know what, it's usually like that with most pistols. Now when you load this, I'm going to go ahead and feed a magazine in here. To release it, normally you would use your thumb on the left hand side to release it. Well, that's not the case with this pistol. The magazine release is on the right hand side, and you use your index finger, and you can see where it is in relation to the trigger. And they do fly right out, so you don't have to tug on them. They do free fall very nicely. So enough talking, time to get some shooting done here. Now I'll go ahead and chamber around, and now you can see that red dot on the back. So now I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick rapid fire. We'll go ahead and do a function test, make sure that it's working good, back from the Beretta factory. The target is 7 yards away. I'm going to go ahead and shoot at the left hand target, bottom. Okay, I went ahead and threw on the 7.5-inch barrel, the one that I already had this red dot optical already mounted on. So, okay, this will again be at 7 yards, again with the 7.5-inch barrel with the red dot. You can see the difference in that group. Alright, it's time to play some hangman. See that ball hanging by the noose? I'm going to go ahead and try to shoot the string so the ball doesn't die. Well, let's take a look. Well, I did hit this string because it's pushed in. And we did get a little bit. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. So we have a dead ball. So this concludes the range day for the Beretta Neos U22. Neos, by the way, means new in Greek. So I'm very happy with this. I enjoy the 7.5-inch barrel with the optic on it. I shoot a lot better. My wife, whose gun this belongs to, enjoys the 4.5-inch barrel. So this is kind of neat that you have a gun that can satisfy all depending on how you outfit it. And it's not that expensive to go ahead and, you know, throw on different options, different grips, different barrels, the carbine conversion kit. Very versatile, very easy to take down, put back together without any tools. It may not be the most accurate 22 out there, but it's probably the most fun. So I'm going to rate this a 9 out of 10 just because of that fun factor. And once we got it sort of fixed up from Beretta, it's a really good plinker. So again, thank you very much for joining me here at the Gear Obsession channel. I really appreciate you all. Keep on coming back. You have a great evening. Bye. So let's wrap things up. Again, this is the Beretta, the burrito. This is the burrito.